So let's jump into the 10K in 10 days, which is pretty remarkable. But you know what's slightly more remarkable than that? I hit 5K as well on the same day on YouTube. So thank you again for that. So you're literally one video away from having it dramatically change your life. And as someone who's battled with anxiety for most of my life, if you're anxious about putting yourself out there, I totally understand. But if you can get out your own way and not worry about the opinions of people who, let's be honest, deep down their opinions don't matter, then you can massively change the course of your journey by just one video. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Aaron, aka The Anxious Investor, and today's video is slightly different to my normal types of videos, as you've probably seen from the title. But it's about how I grew my Instagram following to 10,000 followers in 10 days. And also, more importantly, about the importance of using social media for property investing. Now, before I begin, I do want to say thank you. Thank you to anyone who subscribed. Thank you for anyone who's watching this video today or watched any of my previous videos, because I sincerely do appreciate every single one of you. I remember growing up watching this dude over here, who's one of the coolest guys around, and he's not doing too bad today. And I always loved his tagline, the people's champion. And in a world where we are seeing fake gurus and clickbait, and I want to try and see myself as almost the people's champion in terms of trying to give you guys the most realistic, honest advice to really help you move forward in your journeys. Plus, telling the truth is a lot easier for myself, because when you get to my age, it's hard enough remembering what actually happened rather than remembering a different story altogether. Nonetheless, I appreciate you all, and I'd appreciate you all maybe a little bit more if you could smash that like button before we jump into this, and maybe consider subscribing if you're new to the channel. So, as always, timestamps will be running along the bottom for all of you to hopefully make life a little bit easier. And if you want to jump straight to the Instagram growth part, I fully understand that. I won't take offense. So by all means, do that. But I want to begin with the importance of having a social media presence for investing in property. Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, you'll know that I never really came into money. And myself and my family, we worked hard 7 days a week for the majority of our lives, which, if I'll be honest, has its positives too, as it makes you a lot more resourceful, not just with the money you have, but also in terms of acquiring it. But at the same time, I was never naive enough to realize that property can be done without any money, whether that was mine, my friends, my family's, or investors. And I had to learn that at some stage in this journey, I need to be able to raise finance. Now, obviously I have a much more in-depth video on this, which I'll link below, because if you are serious about raising finance, you need to go check that out, because no matter how rich you are or how rich your parents or family are, your money's going to run out one day. But essentially, for anyone who's interested in this video, the key is to learn to solve people's pain points. And for rich people and investors, they know their money is doing nothing in the bank. So if you can solve that problem for them, you not only make them happy, but most likely you're going to solve a problem for yourself and increase the progress of your journey. And that, in a nutshell, is why having an online presence is crucial. You see, when I first invested at 25, I put 25% deposit down on a buy-to-let, and I had no online presence other than eating a lot of food and posting it on Snapchat. Plus, I was never really into property, if I'm being honest. I was enjoying my job as a project manager in London, and I was living that high life as a graduate in Hilton hotels. However, when I went full-time, I realized that I only had a certain amount of funds, and putting 25% deposit on houses is going to run out pretty quickly. And just a very quick disclaimer here, I didn't know what I was about to do next would have worked so well, but it did. What I basically started doing was documenting everything. How I used to document my food journeys and my personal training life on Snapchat, I simply did the same for property on Facebook. Now, I don't want to get into any arguments with he said, she said, this and that, but I'm pretty confident that I made up the idea of documenting your journey before Gary Vee did. Anyway, so basically all I did was document my ups and my downs. Well, actually, I was documenting my downs because I wasn't really getting many ups, and I was pretty pants at investing. I was too nice to people, I wasn't assertive, and I was overly trusting of what people had to say. And to cut a long story short, I had to learn the hard way. But I did learn, painfully. Pain. However, as I was learning, I was documenting the process on Facebook and in property groups, and I started to get a lot of traction. People were finding me more relatable than people saying, hey, look how wonderful I am with my 7-figure business. And as a result of that, over the next 6 to 12 months, raising finance just became the easiest thing ever. In fact, raising finance for myself is easier than doing this video without making any bloopers. And the reason for that is, you know, that notion of people betting on houses and getting returns, for example. What people started to do was bet on me. They began to know, like, and trust me. And they'll do the same for yourselves if you can get yourself out there and be your authentic self. It's a little bit like, I suppose, when you guys watch this video, when we speak for the first time, you feel like you know me. And sadly, I don't know many of you unless we're speaking in the comments down below. So maybe drop a comment today. But that's essentially what's happening. And as a result of this and documenting a few times, I was able to raise a bloody lot of money. And the thing with this was, we was able to put a lot of that money to work on numerous of our projects and some of our projects coming forward. But here's something crazier than all of that. I've had over 16 calls in the last 2 weeks as my profile on social media has grown quite significantly. And if you can read between the lines, I've had a fair few investors asking me to solve some of their problems. And if I'm able to, then I know that's a win-win situation for all of us. So it definitely works. And one of the key questions I know that I get from many of you, especially on Instagram lately, is where do you find investors? And the truth is you find them in many places, but wouldn't it be great if they could find you? You see, myself, I've never had to actually actively search for investors. I've never asked for investment, nor have I put posts on saying, hey, DM me for returns. That isn't my style, that's not what I like to do. And also I find it a little bit cringy. Hey, I'm not here to judge. But what I have done very well without initially realizing it was a good tactic was to put myself in a position to be found. And this is what I want you all to do. And if you have any specific questions around how do you do this, then please do drop it down in the comments below. And I'll try my best, as I always do, to try and help you maybe with some ideas in terms of growing your own business. So let's jump into the 10K in 10 days. Which is pretty remarkable. But you know what's slightly more remarkable than that? I hit 5K as well on the same day on YouTube. So thank you again for that. I digress. So previously I've raised a lot of my money via friends, family, and Facebook. Yes, Facebook. But recently in the last 10 days, as you've seen, my Instagram page went bonkers and I've had some of the nicest comments ever motivate me now to produce more content there. Which is funny because on Wednesday, I was honest, I don't even like Instagram, but now I'm really spending quite a lot of time there to try and help as many people as possible learn property investing for free without paying any of these gurus. But it was never somewhere I spent my time on. And I'll tell you the reason for that. I didn't see an ROI in doing that. I simply thought that I was just wasting time. There was no return on investment of me sitting there, and I did it for a long time, of making these fancy artwork on Canva, writing an essay to give some value in the description, and getting it seen by only 10 people, including my brother, my sister, and my wife. Oh, and my mom. So after a bit I figured it's probably just easier to tell them directly what I want to say, and I kind of left Instagram, other than promoting the YouTube channel. And as many of you know, my goal is to grow this channel. I absolutely love YouTube. I was secretly hoping they'd hear that, but I know that's not going to happen. And I realized that YouTube had rolled out this thing called YouTube Shorts. And as many of you who have subscribed are probably realizing, between my Wednesday and Sunday uploads, there's quite a lot of short form videos. Well, that gave me an idea. I figured, why not repurpose these, or even keep them the same, and post them on Instagram. And I don't mean IGTV, I don't mean as an Instagram post on your grid. And I definitely don't mean live. Forget that, that scares me. But what I did do is I uploaded about 15 of these videos, and I sat there and I waited, and I waited. But then all of a sudden, a video popped off, well, in my opinion, popped off. I was literally sat at my parents' house. Don't worry, we were social distancing at the time. And this video that had about 500 views on the reel suddenly went to 7,000. But then after a few days later, this happened. Now what this did, which I'm very thankful for, is it blew up a few of my other videos. And all of a sudden I was getting responses like, I can't believe I haven't come across your page. Thank you very much. You have so much information here. I know. And all of a sudden I started to get a huge influx of followers. And then within 10 days or so, well, actually, I think it was 9 days, but let's be honest, 10K in 10 days sounds much better. I passed 10,000 followers. Now I'll be fully transparent here. It was definitely hard work. The videos, etc., I'd actually recorded, I think around 50. So some of them I'm just waiting to drip feed them to the audience. I also on average record 3 to 5 as well. So it is definitely hard work. Not working in a coal mine hard work, but it's hard work because of bloopers, making it catchy, speaking in 30 seconds, and trying to get my point across. Nonetheless, there's never been a time ever that I can remember where you have the capability of blowing yourself up with one video. And now my only hope is that I can get a YouTube video to blow up. So if you could just like that video, please, I'd really appreciate it. And going back to the video form, just a quick pointer. Produce videos on something that you're comfortable around. For example, our health superfood blends here. We're now doing reels on that, and we're going to talk about the benefits of having something that's 100% organic, vegan certified, non-GMO, has the best superfood ingredients, no sweeteners, no additives, and it also helps with your physical and mental well-being. Also, you'll get a 10% discount if you check the link below. And essentially all I'm going to do is do reels with the wife about Health Excel, and I'm very confident fingers crossed, I've kind of put the pressure on here, that we can get that page now growing to really help the audience and more importantly help people with their physical and mental well-being, which is my #1 goal. So therefore, I need you to hopefully understand that social media is so essential. We've had some viral videos outside of Instagram which have brought in some crazy sales. So I really urge all of you, because nothing would make me happier than to see you guys do absolutely amazing, especially given the year that we've had in whatever field that you're working in. Because right now there is a small window of opportunity. Before the influencers and everyone jumps on the bandwagon, you now have an opportunity to grow your platform and grow your audience. So sincerely, I hope you take encouragement that if an anxious guy like me who can barely talk half the time can do it, then you guys can definitely do it. And with that, my friends, that is that. I would hope this video was useful. I know it's slightly different, and I also hope, more importantly, that you smash the like button as well, because a few of you didn't do that on the last video, but I'll forgive you if you do it today. And do, if you wish to, follow me on Instagram. Otherwise, I wish you guys all the best. Have a great day, and now it's time for those bloopers. Thanks for watching. And as always, just to let the YouTube gods know, even now, anyways, so now what I would urge is, and essentially all that I'm going to do is be